British Academy Scotland Awards 2017.
How can you play guitar with a broken arm? Paragliding through the clouds and you. Today is different. Reload and we know machines breathe. Reload and we are machines that breathe. Screenshot my imagination.
I'm serving a life sentence for murder.
How can you live your life always on repeat without a manual to instruct on how to speak? Release the pressure from your lungs and learn to breathe.
Step this way, Mr. Biggie. Sign here, Mr. Biggie.
Reload and we know machines breathe. Reload and we are machines that breathe. Screenshot my imagination.
I gave up my dreams so that you could live yours.
It was a little easier in the dark. Now I'm feeling less complicated when I'm down. Today is
Who does that? I mean, it's crazy, but I did it.
no machines breathe. Reload and we are machines that breathe.
Away with the clappers.
Reload and we know.
BAPs, they're called in England.
I love digital telly because it means that no matter where you live in Britain, you can get all the channels. So never again will I have to hear that phrase that battered my childhood. And that phrase is, that's except for viewers in Scotland who've got their own programmes.
Please welcome your host, Edith Daly.
Hello everybody, good evening. How are we all this evening? I hear you're quite feral, which is great. Good way to start tonight, a warm bonfire night welcome, ladies and gents, and hello from a glorious Glasgow to viewers who are watching us online. If I should pass out at any point, it's because I'm wearing more Spanx than is advised. Just throw champagne at me and I will wake up in a second. It is absolutely thrilling and wonderful to be back to guide you through this exceptional celebration of all your hard work. And that was just a taste of some of the fantastic work nominated tonight. Before we begin, a little favour, polite little favour, that all of our guests, and particularly those with Will Kent faces, for those English in the room, that's well-known faces, please allow them to enjoy the party in peace without mobile phones being thrown in their face for selfies. Mum, where are you? Just remember Gary Tunt Commander last year. Right then, what's been happening? Women who present the news suddenly found themselves the subject of the news and challenged inequality in pay. A few of us wearing the rings tonight. Sarah Smith slid neatly into Andrew Neil's generations, and the numerous stories that followed have shocked and stunned many of us. And BAFTA joined others in taking a stand and calling out this type of behaviour as utterly unacceptable. The eagerly awaited Netflix feature from the fabulous David Mackenzie about Robert the Bruce, starring Chris Pine, is currently filming. Oh, someone's excited. You may have seen him giving the press the thumbs up. I think it was his thumb. I'm not totally sure. Also underway, a blockbuster about Mary Queen of Scots featuring Saoirse Ronan and our very own David Tennant, Martin Compston and Jack Lowden. The new £400 million Avengers film, Infinity War, blew up Edinburgh's Old Town in spectacular style. Similar scenes shot in Glasgow just look like your average Saturday night on Sauchiehall Street. For new TV drama Melrose, Benedict Cumberbatch was seen jumping out of a yellow cab. No Uber drivers were available at the time. In television, the BBC made the biggest single investment in Scotland for more than 20 years and launches a brand new... In Saturday primetime, we're all rooting for Susan Coleman and Joe McFadden, who... Charleston Charleston his way here tonight from Strictly. TV, it's magic. He can be in 2 places at once. BBC Alba goes from strength to strength as Yorpa celebrated its 25th anniversary. Round of applause for that. STV had a 60th birthday as STV2 launched a brand new integrated Scottish and international news show, STV Tonight. Channel 4 and Film 4 continued to invest and commission from Scotland. The smoke machine, but never mind, for a 5th year in a row. Let's salute and put our hands together for our world-class talent, crews, excellent facilities and stunning locations, which Outlander is just one example that exploits to the full. Welcome back, Katrina and Sam. What's the first? A skilled practitioner who's perfectly... Sir David Attenborough said, wildlife cameramen don't come more special. Welcome fellow Fifer, Mr. Doug Allen. In fact, after being at last night's nominees party, I believe we have a good representation from Fife in the room, if I'm not to be mistaken. Any Fifers in the room? Okay. Fife for life. They're still hungover from last night. Our second special award is to an acclaimed satirist, writer, director, producer who started his career at BBC Radio Scotland. Now a success on both sides of the Atlantic. He's... Right then, just before we crack on, let me explain our familiar, to those who've been here before, very simple system which for the most part worked last year, so please don't let me down. We want to hear your speeches, of course we do, but within reason. Back, by popular demand, we have a yellow card for a caution, the Vinia game. Good luck, everybody. Right then. Let's get underway with tonight's first award, recognising achievement in Scotland's thriving animation sector. To present it, a trailblazing presenter who's been an inspirational rogue to me and many, a role model for women in sports broadcasting and whose work behind the camera sees her amongst tonight's nominees. Joining 2 Grand Slam titles to his name. Please welcome Hazel Irvine and Gordon Reid.
Thank you very much indeed, Edith. It's lovely to be with you. I do know that BAFTA is meticulous in its details, so they've paired Gordon and I because we are both former pupil contemporaries, but I think you're wearing very well for 50 plus, Gordon. Can I just say, can we salute this man? Just the 3 reigning Olympic champion. It's not a bad haul. Gordon, shall we do this? Let's do this award, shall we?
Make me blush. So these animations take a magnifying glass to the modern world, examining the impact that both personal unrest and mass-scale upheaval have on their central characters.
With a heart piece which brilliantly juxtaposes the routine of everyday life with global unrest, and a majestic artwork emphasising the power of human connection.
Let's take a look at their work.
Animation. Home matters.
I made a new friend named Nina. After school, she came over to my new house. I showed her my room. I showed her Pepper. We painted the walls our favorite color, orange. Pepper tried to help too. I love my new room.
Life cycles.
Cheers, man. All right, Megan. That's 1480.
first award of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Life Cycles.
Thanks so much, BAFTA Scotland. Thanks to the jury. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Yeah, no, like I didn't make the film. Didn't think it was going to play at festivals or anything like that. And so this is a bit mental. Yeah, I should say some thanks probably. Thanks to Keith. Thanks to Robbie, Will, Ainsley, Duncan, Kat, Scott. My family, because they're pretty good. Megan, my wonderful girlfriend, is pretty good. She has put up with me for 10 years, which is ridiculous. And, oh, I should thank the funders. Thanks to BFI Feature Film, because they gave me some cash, which was good. I'm going to go. Cheers, thank you.
Congratulations. The next award is for Best Feature and Factual Series, and Scottish Broadcasting Royalty is here to announce the winner. He's the king of digging up history. She's the queen of Newsnight, and my both with projects not also nominees tonight. Please welcome Neil Oliver and Kirsty Wark.
Delighted to be here to be giving this particular award. I mean, I think Scotland really, the amount of factual and documentary coming out of Scotland is so strong just now. It's just a testament to every single person in this room. And these three are particularly brilliant. The nominees for Best Feature and Factual Series confront some very big questions like, why move to a remote island with 55 inhabitants unless you're trying to avoid...
Very good. And how does prison affect the lives of its inmates?
And how does local government actually work? I've always actually wanted to know that.
So let's take a look and find out.
Features and factual series. The Council.
Today, because you obviously struggled a wee bit to get on and off the toilet in your own house.
No, I didn't. I think I've still got one of these in my house.
Have you? Where?
Oh, it's in one of the cupboards someplace.
It's not...
Oh, bastard. I do like these fucking things.
Sorry, it doesn't even fit properly.
I just want a fucking...
But...
I just want a lovely bar and I do want none of these fucking things.
But that, just for the purposes of toilet safely.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fair Isle, living on the edge.
Britain's most remote inhabited island. It's an extraordinary place to live.
There are so many moments when you walk outside or even stand in the window on a stormy day and you just say, wow.
First and last 24 hours.
It's extreme. Locked up 23 hours a day. Being banged up with druggies, scumbags.
I was driving like an idiot.
I went out shoplifting.
Armed robbery.
I get 7 for murder.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes to the Council.
Thank you so much. Thank you to you and Angus, our commissioner. We're going to miss you. I just want to say a massive thank you and well done to Jen and Stephen, because this is absolutely their series. And I think they worked so hard. Personality comes through. And I would say that comes through in the humour, the warmth, and as you will have seen by the clip that we showed, the sort of like really good swearing. So well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
1967 have been high in the Scottish consciousness this year, but if 1967 was the summer of love, 2017 was definitely the summer of Love Island. So to present the award for Best Entertainment, please welcome a couple back, Jamie Jewett and Camilla Thurlow.
Thank you so much, BAFTA Scotland, for inviting us. It's such a pleasure to be back home.
It's a real honour to be here, it really is.
So the nominees include a chat show set in Agnes Brown's living room, a children's panel show co-hosted by a dog, and, as it says on the tin, Robots at War.
Now, these are all hugely entertaining in their own right, but there can only be one winner. So let's take a look at the nominations.
Entertainment. All round to Mrs. Brown's.
I know sometimes I'm scared to get short. I do. And you really just see my knees just a I just saw them in the pause and passed down match. You're right, for them to match, I'd have to shave my head.
The dog eats my homework.
Everybody reports Alex, A big toe, B the small toe. You wait with the small toe. The answer is written down. Oh no. On this card.
My ankles have gone weak.
It's A big toe.
Robot Wars.
Okay, that is a first. That is, we've never seen that before. And that carbonate, that's bulletproof glass, and it just went through. The arena itself is 4 times as thick. So we still feel that the audience and ourselves we're safe enough. But if you're sitting over there, if you're the audience members over there,
they are freaked
there's
out.
a kind of a ha 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 ha.
They're waving and
nervous
going,
laugh off.
thank God there's a second layer.
All round to Mrs. Brown.
Two people from Love Island. I just want to thank everyone at BBC Scotland. Hungry Bear's only been up here a year, and the Scottish production team on All Round to Mrs. Brown's were brilliant. The producers, the APs, the researchers, thank you very much to them. Thank you very much to Charlotte Moore, Alan Tyler, Kate Phillips. Thank you very much to BAFTA. Thank you to Brendan O'Carroll and all his family for being outrageous and funny and brilliant. So thanks to everyone here, and hopefully we're going to be here for many years and enjoying these nights. Thanks, Scotland. Thank you.
Right then, our next award will surely be one of the most keenly contested companies are truly global, but I'll say it anyway. Scottish gaming companies are truly global players. Only the other week, the hub of Scottish gaming industry, Dundee, was named one of the world's hot destinations by none other than the Wall Street Journal. To name and acclaim this year's best game, please welcome a television star all the way from Craig Lang to Shieldinch, alongside a producer, presenter, novelist, and sheer force of nature. Please put your hands together.
Just to correct you, Edith, it wasn't the Wall Street Journal, it was the Glebe Street Journal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, there is a world view of thought that young people really ought to be outside all day, swinging from trees and hitting tin cans with homemade catapults. But if you do wish to spend 15 hours indoors watching a game with the curtains closed, then Scotland has the best industry ever. I'm never going to be asked to present this category again, am I?
Yes. Well said, Muriel. Can I just take this chance to say, Muriel, because I won't have the chance again, that personally, to be stood here and to present an award with such an icon of broadcasting and world-renowned author, well, it must be very nice for you. Let's take a look at the manatees. Sorry, the nominees.
Game. Brutal. Red's Kingdom. Stories untold.
Give me a sign, man. This storm is getting pretty wild.
Who is it?
And the winner is Stories Untold.
So, yeah, thank you very much, everyone. This is genuinely a surprise. We've had quite a few nominations over the years and never a win, always the bridesmaid. But we're here now, which is great. Thank you, Wise. Obviously, we want to thank our team here and the team who couldn't make it tonight, who will be here later. But especially, we want to thank our publishers, Devolver Digital, especially Graham, Andrew, and Nigel, who saw something bizarre in this game and really liked it and helped push it further. I want to thank Dave Jones, who helped us get started a while ago, and yeah, everyone who's watched the game, played the game, talked to their friends about it and stuff. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Not even a sniff of a yellow card yet. This is good. Our next category is Best Actor on Television, where recent Pennant, what a forward line that is. To reveal who will be taking the award home this year, it's the dancing doctor himself. Please welcome Joe McFadden.
Hi, it's a... no, maybe later. Maybe some more champagne. Yeah, it's nice being close to one of these things, and it's nice to be out of the sequins for a while. It's nothing to do with Strictly, it's just my general Sunday night attire. Now, the performances this year are gripping and complex in their exploration of good and evil. They include the unforgettable portrayal of a man with horrifying secrets and the compelling battle between an infamous serial killer and the detective who stopped at nothing to bring him justice. Let's take a look at the nominations.
Actor Television. Mark Bonner, Unforgotten.
I was going through a period of having blackouts, losing all days.
You were drinking that heavily?
Sadly, yes.
Did you know you were gay at the time of the allegation?
No, and I maybe knew instinctively, but I certainly hadn't admitted it to myself.
Martin Compston, In Plain Sight.
I'm boring you.
No. No.
Zoe. Come on. I'll see you home.
Douglas Henschel, In Plain Sight.
Where were you between the hours of 2 and 7 on the morning of Wednesday, the 1st of January?
And a happy new year to you.
Wednesday, the 1st of January, between the hours of 2 and 7 a.m. Where were you?
I was here all night.
You're lying.
He's not. We were all on New Year's Eve.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award. Unfortunately, Mark couldn't be with us tonight. He's filming something as we speak, but he's asked me to read this message for him. Hello, if the Russian bots have worked correctly, Joe McFadden should now be standing in front of you reading this. I'm gutted I can't be there with you all enjoying tonight, but thank you so much to BAFTA for this award. I'd like to congratulate Dougie and Martin on their nominations. They're two of the best, and I'm honoured to be in their company. Unforgotten was an incredible job with an incredible cast that remains very close to my heart. And I'd like to thank the wonderful and supportive Sally Haynes, Laura Mackey, and Tim Bradley, director Andy Wilson for his pinpoint accuracy and humanity, but most of all, Chris Lang for one of the best scripts that I've ever had the pleasure to work on. I'd also like to thank the National Association for Everything in the Run-Up to Christmas. NAPAC is an incredibly worthy charity who would benefit enormously from your generosity. Slanja. Cheers.
Now to honour the year's best short film, so I'll keep it appropriately brief. Here to announce the winner is Scotland's Cabinet Secretary for Culture, Tourism and External Affairs, Fiona Hislop, MSP.
It's an honour to be here tonight to present the short film. The British Academy Awards Scotland provide a great opportunity to celebrate excellence and showcase the recent achievements of Scotland's film, television and video and game talent. However, it's not just about one night. BAFTA Scotland does crucial work throughout the year with a great programme for education, masterclasses and talent development supported by Creative Scotland. And I'm happy that through our programme for government, the Scottish Government has announced an additional £10 million of public... And that will bring the total to 20 million next year. And the Production Growth Fund is helping to attract more high-end television and film production to Scotland, bringing with it opportunities for new jobs, career progression for our creative, craft and technical talent. And we're pleased to be supporting the National Film and Television School's plans to set up a base in Scotland in partnership with the BBC. So creating opportunities and celebrating the next generation of our screen talent is hugely important. Short films are not only an art form in their own right, they also provide the ideal way to introduce to the future stars of the industry. Let's have a look at the nominations for Short Film VT.
Short film. The inescapable arrival of Laszlo Patuszki.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award for Short Film goes to The Inescapable...
This is a great privilege. Thank you, BAFTA. Thanks to the people who believed in this slightly unusual story at an early stage. I remember there was this seminar of SFTN, Scottish Film Talent Network, where we had to suddenly ad hoc present our projects to this room full of producers who had come out of nowhere. And I was getting really into it and was talking of Kafkian struggles and a psychological exploration of a character on a precipice. And I looked around and the room had gone real quiet. And I thought, this is sounding really weird, even to myself. That pulled this through. And lastly, a huge thank you to Louise McVeigh, who sits over there with a sailing ship on her hat, whose beautiful and highly atmospheric singing voice kind of releases people from that film with a sensation of that, in a strange way, everything is going to be okay. Thank you.
Congratulations. Right, next award honours the best single documentary of the year. To announce the winner, it's BAFTA Scotland's privilege to welcome a living legend, a man with no fewer than 6 Olympic gold medals and thighs bigger than Donald Trump's ego. Please welcome Sir Chris Hoy!
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight. It's the first time I've been to this event, so I'm very honoured to be presenting the Single Documentary Award. Now, 3 powerful films, an emotional tribute to the Big Yin, the amazing triumph of the Lisbon Lions, and a poignant and uplifting story of the children of Glasgow's Sighthill. Let's have a look at the nominations.
Single documentary. Billy Connolly, Portrait of a Lifetime.
He said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a comedian. They said, oh. He said, I'll tell you what you do. He says, you get one of them Irish joke books, you learn them jokes. You can, you know something, that's why you're sitting at the front. And we look the clappers. I wonder who the clappers were. Cynthia and Dolores Clappers.
Glasgow 1967, the Lisbon Lions.
She had 15 kids, loved football, but she was let down at the finish up because She had no inside left.
Panmure Street even had its own football team and would take on anyone.
We are some of the Panmure boys. We are some of the boys. We know our manners and how to spend our tanners. We are expected wherever we go. Doors and windows open wide, open wide.
Sighthill.
We are stranger than normal does.
Think it's a ducks?
Yeah, I haven't seen you in ages.
How are you? You right?
Hey, how are you?
Not bad.
So there's me thinking that I wouldn't see you around Sighthill again, and you're back.
Oh, I'll be in Sighthill all the time. I'll be here for the rest of my life. I don't know why, but I will be.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Glasgow 1967, The Lisbon Lions.
Just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for, because I grew up and I was terrible at football, and I dreamed about sort of playing for Celtic and scoring a big goal in like European Cup final or something like that, and then realised I couldn't do it, and then this documentary comes along and you get the chance to be Stevie Chalmers, to dream of being Stevie Chalmers just once, and all these people here helped me make it, and thanks to them all. But
I'm not going to keep you, ladies and gentlemen, but I just wanted to let you know that this has been one of the greatest honours of my professional career. I've been in football for a long time, in sport for a long time. I thought I knew these gentlemen, but actually having to dig underneath their stories and try to reveal a little bit of the social history and the context of this incredible achievement of the Lisbon Lions 50 years ago was one of the greatest things I've ever been involved in. It was a fantastic team, a brilliant editor, everybody involved in it. And thank you very much to you and Angus at BBC Scotland for believing in it. And for IMG Scotland, it was one of the great coups to be involved in. Thank you very much. And we're available for an awful lot more work. Thank you very much.
By the way, this is an impression of Big Jim when he gave away that penalty. All kidding and joking aside, I just wanted to say this to you. To achieve something, you must deprive yourself of something. And what we had as a manager, I promise, is second to none. The first thing he says to us, when the first game was at Airdrie, he turned around and he says, "This is your era. Let's make history." I don't think we did too badly, did we? Thank you. Thank you.
There is no way a red card was coming out then. No way. No way. Not even a yellow card. Oh, brilliant. Right, here we go. Let's move on now for the award for Actress in Television. Revealing the winner is an actress who is a nominee herself tonight. Pipe down, everyone.
Thank you very much. As her star rises, oh, it's nice that. As her star rises in the film industry firmament and a towering figure in Scotland's cultural life as actor and director, who's also much too good at presenting for my liking, would do well to remember nobody likes a smart arse. Please welcome Freya Mayer and David Heyman.
How can you follow Bertie Auld?
Just want to say I'm delighted to be here and to see everyone looking so fabulous in all their finery.
Because these artists have turned in superb performances of depth, of emotion and of truth. And I have to say that the judges must have had a hell of a job in their hands. But there always has to be a winner. Freya.
Let's have a look at the nominations.
Actress Television. Marvin Christie, The Replacement.
You're doing a good job. You are. Keep it up for another 3 months and that's all it needs.
Really think you're going to be back that early?
I don't need to hear another word about anything that's not work-related.
Well, I would be failing in my duty as a mother and as a human being if I didn't speak out when I can see an accident about to happen, because it's not all about you.
No, you do not get to give a running commentary on my life.
It's not just your life.
If you question my choices one more time...
I messed up on the compliances and I'm sorry.
Laura Fraser, The Missing.
Your father killed a girl in Iraq, not in battle. He murdered a civilian, so have it on good authority.
Good authority? Whose bloody authority? Authority to accuse an old man with Alzheimer's of murder.
The pieces fit.
Leave. Right now.
Juliet Stevenson, One of Us.
She was always trying to save the world. One lost soul at a time. Because she's kind enough to hand him some free food.
You can't keep thinking about that.
So if that did...
The BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Laura Fraser for The Missing.
Thank you so much to BAFTA Scotland. I really enjoyed being in the category with brilliant Marvin Christie and Juliet Stevenson. But this is, I'm so chuffed. I'm so chuffed. And I should say thanks to the writers of The Missing, Harry and Jack Williams, and the director, Ben Shannon, and my lovely agent, Michael Hallett, and everybody at MTH Hallett. Also to Tammy Rosen, Lindsay Porter, and most of all to my daughter, Lila, and to my husband, Carl. I love you, Renee. Sorry I did it. Thank you so much. Cheers, bye.
Current affairs. Presenting it are two women making waves on television in critically praised drama and high-octane entertainment. Please greet from the BAFTA-nominated Murdered by My Father, Karen Sonia Sawyer, and from Robot Wars, Angela Scanlon.
I know, I'm going to stop myself. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? And this is where I'm supposed to put it. Hungry So- yet? Me too, starving. Right, go first.
Okay, so these films celebrate the best original journalism and offer a really fresh insight and analysis on three very, very diverse subjects.
Guantanamo's ex-convict, a personal investigation into the menopause taboo, and an examination of the lives of young people in care.
Yes, proper amazing subject. Like, let's take a look at the nominees.
Current affairs. the Orca Special, Guantanamo detainees.
Another 9/11 type attack in America because of Guantanamo. We've got dangerous terrorists off the battlefield, and if we were to release them to the United States, many of them would be free. And that's because we don't have the standard of evidence that would hold them in federal court.
I spent one of the days of my life here if I live 16 years.
The Insider's Guide to the Menopause.
Or is that tied into the breast cancer as well?
No, I don't really think about the breast cancer. But I think, it happens, and all the things I used to make jokes about are so true.
Who cares?
As you can see very visibly, I literally wear my scars on my sleeve. They're all over my body, all over my arms, all over my legs, my stomach. But they tell lost, felt very isolated into the woman that I am today.
And the BAFTA Scotland goes to Yorpa Special, Guantanamo detainees.
Thank you very much. Thank you to BAFTA. This is very, very unexpected. BAFTA, as Edith mentioned, has been on the Europe has been on the go for 25 years, and thank you very much to the BBC for believing in it and for continuing to support it. I've been involved for about 14 years, and it's an absolute privilege to be part of the team. If it wasn't for them, there would be no Yorpa. Thanks also to all the contributors who, not just for this programme, but for all the programmes we do. If it were not for them, we would not have a programme. So thank you, agus tapla garidu for BAFTA, agus sláinte bhagah.
In the real world for tonight's special turned presenter and a young Scots journalist who've teamed up down on the farm for CBeebies. Please welcome JB Gill.
Hello BAFTA Scotland, it's a real pleasure to be back here and to present the Specialist Factual category, because this covers a range of different categories including arts, religion, history and science. And tonight's nominees capture a range of quality work.
Absolutely. With the compelling account of the notorious artist Francis Bacon and a look at the extraordinary life of Roald Dahl, not to mention a challenging report on Scotland's influence onto the birth of the Ku Klux Klan.
Feeling awkward still?
Yes, yes I am.
Well, don't. Let's take a look.
Specialist Factual, sponsored by Deloitte. Francis Bacon, A Brush with Violence.
Everything was torn, everything was dirty, everything was wonderful. A lot of incredibly strong cocktails. So you've got plastered pretty quick, and then Nanny would appear from time to time and say, "Oh, would anybody like something to, something to smoke?" And this didn't mean, player cigarettes.
The Marvellous World of Roald Dahl.
Every pilot knows what a gremlin is, and every one of them talks about gremlins every day. These little types with horns and a long tail who walk about on the wings of our aircraft, boring holes in the fuselage and urinating in your fuse box.
Scotland and the Clan.
This is one of the few remaining copies of what was the Constitution of, which they called the Prescript of the Star, 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 which is what they used to stand for Ku Klux Klan.
I see, right.
And you have some Shakespearean verse, and then down here,
Burns.
We have Burns, so you can see the Scottish,
absolutely,
kind of
yes.
Scottish influence here.
A certain ghost is ranting.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes...
Thank you to BAFTA for awarding it to us. It was a bit of a surprise. Dawn's telling me to smile, but I'm obviously very delighted. And there was something mentioned at the beginning this evening about creative freedom, and for me that was very special. And I think it's something we should hold very.
Okay, we can do this. Right, our next award goes to this year's Best Director in Factual. To present it, pipe down please. And to start, who is also at the centre of the fantastic BBC thriller The Replacement. Please welcome, lots of really overexcited ladies tonight. Please welcome Richard Rankin.
Gift. Lift my kilt? Oh, come on, I'm only just on the stage, for goodness sakes. Enough of that, carry on. It's a pleasure to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a lovely night. What the hell? My very thoughts appear before me. These little screens know exactly what I'm about to say. Anyway, so these directors take us to Britain's most remote inhabited island on a trip back in time to vanished Glasgow and an historic sporting triumph, and into the lives of local people as an iconic development faces demolition. So let's take a look at my nominees. Now, John, let's take a look at the nominees.
Director Factual. Darren Hercher, Sight Hill. Louise Lockwood, Fair Isle, Living on the Edge.
We are very, very sad to say cheerio to Ethan today. So I'm going to get upset on him now. He's been upset all morning, now it's my turn. So we are really going to miss you, Ethan. In fact, 7 years at primary school, and he's been absolutely brilliant, haven't you? Yeah, we are really going to miss you.
John McClaverty, Glasgow 1967, The Lisbon Lions.
Handsome and proud, every inch the inspirational captain. The man they called Caesar lifted the cup for all the world to see.
Fantastic moment for Celtic, and how well they deserve it.
It's a frozen in time moment.
because I still picture Big Billy up with the cup, and it will remain in my mind till the day I die.
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Louise Lockwood for Fair Isle.
I'm so nervous, and it's really fast, so I won't need a yellow card, I promise. Right, okay, thank you ever so much, BAFTA Scotland, wherever you are, thank you very much. And first thank yous, brilliant team, Martin McLaughlin, Stuart Houston, Joe Rowe, Emma Curtis, Jonathan Seal, Tim Neal, all brilliant, love them all, couldn't have done it without them. Incredible partner Jane for agreeing to uproot her life, and our and of course a massive thank you to the Fair Islanders. It's a big ask to let a documentary team in. And they trusted me to capture the reality of their lives, and I found a strong, resilient and incredibly hard-working, welcoming community. So thank you to them. And last but not least, finally, I would like to thank my mentor and my friend, David Peat. Many of you will have known David in here and will have worked with him, and as soon as they shoot, so this one's for David. Thank you.
Congratulations, Louise. Our first special award recognises an outstanding contribution to craft and is presented in memory of an internationally acclaimed makeup artist, the late Robert McCann. Now, in recent BAFTA Scotland years, we've honoured the exceptional careers of a first assistant director, a props master and a visual effects wizard, amongst many others. To tell us which remarkable professional will be joining their ranks tonight, please welcome one of the truly major figures in television's coverage of natural history, former head of BBC Natural History Unit and the multi-award winning producer. Please welcome Alistair Fothergill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As a wildlife filmmaker, I'm fortunate enough to work with some of the most determined, tough, and talented cameramen and women in the whole of our industry. And even in that exalted company, tonight's winner stands out. Let me give you a quick picture of this guy. He thinks nothing of spending hours. He's spent more time on the Arctic ice searching for polar bears than anyone I know. He's so passionate about those animals that one famous occasion, after a 6 departure for the airport to the very last minute, there followed a non-stop 12-hour skidoo snow machine journey across the ice to reach the airport. He got there just in time, only to go to the loo before the flight took off and fall asleep through complete exhaustion. He emerged a few hours later, having missed the weekly flight. The 5-metre predators with terrifying teeth, Antarctic predators, for whom this diminutive Scotsman is nothing more than a stringy meal. David Attenborough once told me he was his favourite cameraman, and I can understand why, because not only is he tough, talented and determined, but he's also extremely good company. And I can tell you, if you spent many days stuck in a tent waiting for a polar storm to clear away, that's a pretty useful quality to have. The winner of BAFTA Scotland's Outstanding Craft Award this year is Doug Allen. And this film...
Outstanding contribution to craft in memory of Robert McCann.
Good evening, BAFTA Scotland, and many congratulations, Doug, to you on this new award, and richly deserved it is.
He just has so much energy, but he also has huge knowledge and skill.
You were working for the British Antarctic Service, and I landed in Rotherham at Vassar's headquarters, and they said there was a young chap there who wanted to meet me. So we went down to the edge of the ice, and I said, where is he? And they said, he's out there, below the ice. I said, below the ice? Filming below the ice? This man's mad. And they sent some sort of signal. You were merged, and you had long hair at the time. And you said, I want to work for the BBC.
Working with Doug was always fun. Always pretty tough, because Doug and I had, I think, without exception,
11 hours. I feel as though these things have been glued in my eyeballs.
And he has an empathy for animals, to know what they're going to do. And on top of all that, he's got an irrepressible sense of humour.
Things have names for the sledges. Things like Intrepid and Braveheart. I'm going to call mine.
I would always recommend that anybody who takes him somewhere goes with a large supply of cornflakes and fresh milk.
In an office in Bristol, Doug was in a less comfortable place. He was on a piece of ice in the Arctic, which had broken away from the main ice floe.
There was no hope of rescue. There was a big storm, and the plane, the Twin Otter, couldn't come to pick us up. Luckily, on that shoot, we hadn't run out of cornflakes and fresh milk.
This polar bear was so handsome. When you look at that lovely shape ahead, he was so laid back, and I love the way his bum just came up in the air as he slides down underneath. It was so calm, and he was so laid back that we could go right in close. You know, that combination of calm weather and that accepting bear, you could try, 100 days and not get a bear in those conditions again.
Push button?
Oh, single button, push.
Oh, that's really close.
Perhaps the set of a camp with 30 people on my ways, and it's just no problem.
I didn't listen to what you said, I was so excited I didn't know what shot. But there was a whole lot of good words, always.
Can you get that part next time?
Yeah, I should have read that.
I'm not after you to. You mean if I keep my socks up now, it's my number as well. Right, fine. You slow no? Okay.
Not from on my side.
Fine.
Okay, I'll get the light.
Aye, get a light.
Cheers, man.
Is that your elbow in the small of my back?
Those aren't pillows.
One of the most elusive and extraordinary hunting techniques in the natural world was thought to be used by a certain pod of killer whales to catch seals. Doug Allen spent his entire career trying to capture this rumoured behaviour on film.
That was their 32-year holy grail. We found a pod, we followed them, the ice conditions were perfect, and they began to do this wave washing. And boy, they did it a lot.
These big waves are not intended to break the ice, but to knock the prey into the water, and they rarely fail.
Words of all, yeah. Yes!
Yeah, hold on,
right,
okay,
come on, Doug, get ready.
Get
ready.
Unless you're a very tough man.
Yeah,
he needs the gloves. Have you got any of these shark-proof gloves? You know, you wear underwater, because that would be even safer.
Yes, maybe not for those wee ones. But
Doug and I can throw some light on the movement of people and culture through the most unlikely source, Doug. The Orkney Vole.
The Orkney Vole, a great wee beastie, wasn't it?
It's fantastic.
I remember once the director saying we wanted a shot of me on a snowmobile going close to the camera. And
I said, but actually, I've never driven a Caserna before. I said, that's okay. And Doug said, it's fine, that'll be fine. I said, Doug, I don't actually drive a car. He said, no, that'll be all right, David. And he said, he pointed to a bank of snow and he said, come straight down there. I'll be lying here and go straight past me. I said, Doug, this is suicide. He said, no, it'll be fine, all right. And the last thing he said was, get some welly, David. I was terrified, but he didn't turn a hair.
There are very few people on this planet who will go to the extremes Doug will go to just to get a shot. That's why I guess he's one of the most famous cameramen we've ever had.
I used to like Hoy, now I'm not so sure.
I want to be like Doug. I want to go out in the middle of nowhere and, you know, crawl along the ice with it and look at a polar bear doing its stuff.
Woo! Ooh, says the other one. Ooh, I like you. That's one of the biggest bits of natural destruction I've ever seen in my life. That was fantastic.
Doug is extremely tough and resilient. I would say he is absolutely fair and, most importantly, extremely kind, a very, very good person.
You've been one of the great underwater cameramen in my experience. You're really superhuman. How you withstand those temperatures, freezing temperatures, below water for so long as you did, is a mystery to me. There couldn't be anybody who more deserves this award. Many congratulations.
Please welcome to the stage,
He and I have worked together a long time. In fact, I knew Alistair when he was a mere assistant producer on Trials of Life. And after I worked a little bit on that series, and then Alistair came to me afterwards, he said, I want to make a series in the Antarctic. Will you help me put it together? And I said, yeah, sure, okay. So we worked together, and that series became Life in the Freezer, which was the BBC's big series on the Antarctic way back in 1992. And ever since then, I've always said to Alistair, when you put together Life in the Freezer, and Alistair says, you wouldn't be half the person you were if I hadn't given you the chance on Life in the Freezer. So we go back a long way, but that was very kind, thank you. And yes, I did meet Sir David like that a long time ago. Anyway, this is really very, very special, and I want to thank BAFTA Scotland very, very much indeed for giving me this. Scotland has been good to me, and it's especially good to get this award from BAFTA Scotland because you can see all you wonderful people in front of me. Wildlife filming, all filming, in fact, is a collaborative effort. So it was great over there to see. But I want to stand here, yes, congratulations. I want to stand here and really thank all the people who gave me a chance, all the people who had faith in me, because it's only when everyone who works on a team is working to their utmost and doing their best, that's when the end product, the one thing that you come out with, is much greater than the sum of the parts. And I want to thank all the producers, the assistant producers, the composers, the graders, the mixers, the sound recorders, all the people who've ever worked on anything that I've worked on and made it extra special. I want to thank them because it's only genuinely through them that I am here today. That's true. Thank you. Now, this is very special, and I'm just going to tell you a wee story about me and awards. I live in Bristol, and about 18 months ago, I had a burglary. Someone broke into my garage. I went down in the morning, and the door was jemmied open, half ajar. So I went inside, looked around, and luckily, they're always trying to get something off the Scots. Anyway, I think it was police, and they
They came round, but they couldn't do anything about it. So that was 18 months ago. Well, about 6 months ago, I got up one Sunday morning, went downstairs, and there's a message on my phone. So I asked it, and it's a phone call from the police. This is true. It came in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the message basically said, Mr. Allen, we've just got some stolen property has come into our hands, and we think that some of it might belong to you. So I thought, oh, I better phone them up. Maybe something was stolen all those months ago, and I just missed it. So I got on the phone to them, and I was chatting away, and I realised that actually what had happened was that my garage had been broken into for a second time while I was asleep. Because as I was on the phone to them, I was walking down the back, and I went. So I said to the policeman on the end of the phone, I said, that's pretty impressive, you know. You're telling me at 5 o'clock in the morning that you've got some stolen stuff that you think belongs to me. And I didn't know that even anybody had been into my garage and burgled me. I said, how did you find out so soon? And he said, well, we stopped this van about 4 o'clock in the morning because we had some. And among it, we discovered an Emmy statuette. Name was on it. So they just Googled me and got my phone number, and there I was. It was back in my hands. Well, I have to tell you, in the garage, this one is coming home with me and staying on my mantelpiece. Thank you very much. Thank you. Just coming back briefly, because I've just been reminded. Well, ignore that. There's been many people have admired my tie tonight. And I have to say it's all down to the creative genius of my partner, Susanna, who... Thank you.
What a legend. My 9-year-old now asks when Doug's going to be on television, which I'm delighted to say will be presented by a wonderful actor who's great national assets. It can only be the local hero. He'll always be Red 2 to me. It's Denis Lawson.
Thank you. I'm really delighted to be presenting the Writers' Award tonight. Writing behind you. So we have 3 enormously talented nominees who have given us a thriller that enthralled audiences for weeks on end, a much-loved returning comedy, and a stunning
film, television, sponsored by Creative Scotland.
You're going through the most amazing, wonderful time of your life.
Joe Ahern,
It's clinging on to your old life. Maybe you'd just rather be at home with Karis. Maybe you don't like being around someone that doesn't take motherhood so deadly seriously. I do at work, that's it.
I was just trying to look out for you.
You're not here to look out for me.
They're notorious cats for loving a heat. Ain't they? They like sleep. That's why I will never have a cat. They're just lazy little monkeys.
What about a dog?
Oh, that walking. Oh, fuck that.
We don't leave our car in the driveway when...
They do. They scream.
Hope Dixon Leach, The Levelling.
It's not true.
Bloody is. You know that, don't you?
I heard they swear too.
In French.
Oh, mon Dieu.
That's what leaks say. Oh, bouf, père, alors. Oh, my roots. Some cheap whore. Oh, look out. Here you go. She's eating some. Call the papers.
It's just potato.
Thank you very much, BAFTA Scotland. Scripts, writers don't win awards unless their films get made, so I think the first person I really want to thank Creative England for financing this film and for all their support in developing it. Thank you to Peccadillo Pictures for getting it, which was great. And to my incredible Conjured, especially my extraordinary lead performer, Ellie Kendrick, who I just continually inspired by. But mostly thank you to my gorgeous husband looking after our children as I ran away to Somerset for 2 months. So thank you.
I'm about to introduce the star who's played Hitler and Tony Hancock. He's been a memorable Inspector Rebus, enjoyed Cafe Society with Woody Allen and fought his way across Middle-earth for Peter Jackson. He knows how it feels to be honoured by BAFTA 2 years ago when he won for his marvellous performance in The Missing. We are delighted he's here tonight to name our Best Actress in Film. Let's welcome the great Ken Stott.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted here since then. And I'm so delighted because every time when I come back to Scotland, I notice that this business is changing, and it's changing so much for the better. I want to thank, I would like to say to the Scottish Government, can we have some more, please? Because as we know, there are those of us in this country that need them. Notwithstanding, I would like to say that there is an array of talent here in this particular category, and I'm delighted to be able to mention them here. Now, these performances are, they include the epitome of cutthroat corporate cruelty, a flawed character, endearing to audiences, if not to the hostile Highlanders in pursuit.
Do my food shop and I've got to eat.
Kate Dickie, Privet.
You must be. I let my friend convince me to go on one of those skydiving things.
Freya Mavor,
The fucking band! Work, rehearse, hustle, write. I mean, you bang on about how great you're gonna be and you haven't even recorded the fucking demo. I gave up my dreams so that you could live yours. This whole place just sums you up.
Deirdre Mullins, The Dark Mile.
Here, Wi-Fi password. What did he say? Larry? For fuck's sake! Larry, hello? You said. You told me you'd checked.
The BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Deirdre Mullins.
I can't believe this. I wrote this on my phone about an hour ago. This is an incredible privilege to be here. Thank you, BAFTA Scotland, my fellow nominees, Freya and Kate. What a true honour to share a category with you. Dorian Healy, The Force, Melanie Dix, rings around the room tonight. ERA, a campaign for equal representation for actresses, or really a campaign for real representation of society, our audience. Thank you, everyone, for using your power and influence tonight as a force for good rather than a license to... Currently, on UK screens, there are more than 2 male characters for every female one, and in kids' TV, that's more like 3 to 1. We can do so much better than this. Our daughters and our sons are absorbing hours of cultural narrative daily, which tells them that girls are not as important or active or powerful as boys. They're literally 3 times less interesting. Are you kidding me? In my experience, it's full of powerful people. Together, we hold all the power. Next time you're commissioning, next time you're producing, next time you're writing, we hold up the mirror to society. We tell society's story and diversity of life in all its wildness and joy. It is...
Well done. Right, this is the golden age of drama on the small screen. And tonight's next award will reflect just that. Revealing the winner for Best Scripted Television are stars from two recent heavy-hitting ratings-winning dramas. From medical thriller Trust Me, please welcome Sharon Small alongside the man who nearly came an explosive end as King James I.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. I'll be fine.
So, this category for television script. From heart-stopping drama to side-splitting comedy and everything else in between, Scotland's output continues to grow in reputation, prestige and ambition.
With a psychological drama that had viewers on the edge of their seats, a comedy exploring the best and worst of life in a Scottish suburb, and the skillful story of the hunt for Scotland's first serial killer.
Let's take a look at the nominations.
Television scripted.
We arrested your dad. Goodbye, Peter.
You walk away from me.
Nobody walks away from Peter, man.
No. Oh, don't worry. I was 25 weeks when I had a first kick. I was climbing the walls.
I'm not that worried.
I wish I was as relaxed as you.
I'm not that relaxed.
Oh, I so miss this. Right, I'll see you in a bit.
All right, see you.
You wonder what people did before there were in England? I remember Sophie went on a trip with the school to London. Remember, Sophie?
Yeah.
Aye. When she came back, I said to her, how was London? She said, it was unbelievable. Trafalgar...
That wasn't supposed to happen, or rather it was, but... BAFTA Scotland, thank you so much for this honour. It means on behalf of everybody who worked on the replacement. Luckily, I'm not alone here. And to say thank you very much to our amazing casting. And thank you so much to Joe Ahern for writing and directing such an amazing... resonantly contemporary piece for mainly two women. And I'd also really like to say thank you so much to everyone at Left Bank Pictures who really loved this project and nurtured it from the beginning, particularly Suzanne Mackey, who's here tonight, and Andy Harris. Also to say thank you very much to the BBC commissioning team who got behind it very, very wholeheartedly, even though it wasn't the most obvious commission. And finally, just to say another thank you to our brilliant, brilliant cast, of whom we have 3 great representatives here tonight.
To get a nice collection of gold envelopes and stuff. If anybody's won an award and would like their gold envelope, I will give them to someone and you can get it, because I know that sometimes we really like to keep these, so I'm not going to throw them out, don't worry. Right then, the big names keep coming in our lineup of presenters. Here to announce the winner of the Best Director Fiction is a truly mighty talent. As a very young man, he piloted a Spitfire in Battle of Britain. And that was just the start of a career that's seen him fight alongside Mel Gibson in Braveheart and taken him all the way from Narnia to Westeros. Currently filming Outlaw King, he remains not only one of Scotland's busiest actors, but one of our very best. It's the fabulous James Cosmo.
Thank you very much. It's such a delight to be here and to give out this wonderful prize. There are 3 different nominees for Director Fiction. The films include a sumptuous Sunday night TV drama, a feature film debut, and a very, very long anticipated sequel. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Director Fiction, sponsored by Tattinger. Danny Boyle, T2 Trainspotting.
Thanks, brother. Can't feel again, Mark. You know, I need to detox the system.
Oh, Spud, detox the system. What does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's not getting it out of your body that's the problem. It's getting it out of your mind. You are an addict.
I think I haven't heard that 100,000 times, Mark. You got 12 more steps for me, comedy.
So, be addicted. Be addicted to something else.
Hope Dixon Leach, The Levelling.
I was just expected to forget about it. My mother.
Yes, Clover, yes. That's how it works. You have to forget about it and then move on.
And change the subject every time she's mentioned.
We have to get up, get out of bed, and milk the bloody cows.
Tom Vaughan, Victoria.
All wonderful shows, but the winner is the extraordinary Danny Boyle. Unfortunately, Danny can't be here tonight, so accept the award on his behalf is Gary Fraser.
I think just to keep it safe, I'd like to thank a really great cast and crew who made the journey absolutely special.
Gary, Danny particularly asked you to come in, accept the award tonight. Can you tell everybody how you're connected to Danny and why you're here accepting it?
I'm his illegitimate son, and no, I'm joking. I was the second unit director on Trainspotting 2. I got to witness Danny and Anthony Dodmantle really create something special, and I think for me as an up-and-coming director, one of the things that I've always believed in short movies and documentaries is passing on my creativity for free, because it's the only way that it works, taken on. And I think looking at Danny, he evidently seen something like that as well, so it gave me a great amount of experience and helped me do my own thing, which I'm more than grateful for.
And we have a short acceptance video, Mr. Danny Boyle on screen right now.
Hello. If you're seeing this, it means we've won, apparently, which is amazing. Thank you, that's incredible. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person. I'm at the Carnegie Hall, the historic Carnegie Hall on 57th Street in New York, where I agreed to direct a fundraiser for a charity dramatic need. I agreed long before T2 started shooting, so that's the reason I can't be there. Thank you to everybody who went to see the movie. The Scottish identity of the film and its predecessor was everything to us in making the show, crewing it, and obviously at the box office. If I could just pick out a few people, David Gilchrist, my first on it, and was first on the first film. John Hodge and Irving Welsh, of course, two of the greatest writers, Scottish and internationally. And Gary Fraser, the second unit director, who should be coming now to pick this up, because we've won, apparently. And on a personal note, can I just thank the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary, the intensive care unit, who looked after our designer, Mark Tilsley, who was very sick and nearly lost everything during the shoot. And they saved him. And that's more important than anything. And they say, if you're going to be sick in Scotland, which is a bit of a dubious, double-edged recommendation, but if you want to make a film, make it in Scotland. Thank you very much.
Go get your picture taken, come on. Right, it is time now to honour actor in film, to reveal who will be following in the illustrious footsteps of winners such as the fabulous Peter Mullen and James McAvoy. We welcome an actress who's made an impact in comedy, in W1A and in drama in last year's BBC Scotland's award-winning feature film, Tommy's Honour. Please give a huge round of applause and welcome the fabulous Ophelia Lovibond.
Hello. It's safe to say that one film has truly dominated this category. Three of Scotland's finest actors brought back the beloved characters that we all know and love as Renton, Spud and Begbie. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Actor, film, sponsored by Audi. Ewan Bremner, T2 Trainspotting.
And one morning I gets to work and gets fired for being an hour late. And then I'm an hour late to the DSS to explain why I lost the job, and an hour late to appeal against losing my benefits, and an hour late for my work-focused interview, an hour late for my supervised visit with wee Fergus, and late again at social services to explain why. Eventually I lit onto it, it was the clocks. Going forward, 1 hour. British summertime, he calls it. It wasn't even warm, I was still wearing a jumper. Happens every year, Mr. Murphy. Well, how was I supposed to know? I've been on Skag for 15 years.
Robert Carlyle, T2 Trainspotting.
That's a bloody blow, I can tell you. I am sorry. A blow? No two ways about that. 5 more years, eh? What do you think I am? You think I'm like one of the cunts in the Bible that live forever? Is that what you think? I'm not sure. They make an assessment. I've written letters, you know. Letters to every cunt, even wrote to the Queen. You've written to the Queen? Aye. Never get back to us, like. Too fucking busy to speak to the working classes. Different story when she needs a soldier. Step this way, Mr. Begbie. Sign here, Mr. Begbie. I didn't know you'd served in the army. I haven't. How could I? I've been in fucking jail for 20 years, you know fucking notice. Of course, of course.
Ewan McGregor, T2 Trainspotting.
And there is Georgie Best lying on the bed with 2 Playboy models. 3 in a bed, champagne and a wee bit of Charlie, and there's banknotes. But they're lying on the banknotes.
Lying on the money?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know, because he has a lot of money, or at least he had a lot of money at the time anyway. The room service guy, he comes in and he sees this scene that I just described to you and he says, George Best.
Greatest footballer of all time.
Exactly, the greatest footballer of all time. I have to ask you, where did it all go wrong?
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes to Ewan Bremner. So tonight, to receive this award on his behalf, please welcome John Hodge.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not Ewan. Fortunately, he sent some words, so I'll read them. This is what he said. To be in service of the visionaries who conceived this great film is everything I could wish for as an actor. Collaboration is the most beautiful and rewarding aspect of filmmaking, in my opinion. The actors I am nominated with tonight brought out them together. If the film reached you and spoke to you on any level, then I cannot wish for any more than that. Thank you, Danny, Irvin, Andrew, John.
Ultimate Award. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Dinner! Here, followed all over the world. Happily, the stars who've helped make this time-travelling romance such a hit are here with us tonight. To reveal the name of this year's Best Feature Film, here are
the follow-up to a universally adored classic, and the engaging tale of one man and his donkey.
So the three nominees for Best Feature have very little in common, apart from their craft and quality, so let's take a look.
Feature film. Accidental Anarchist.
The opposite of government-imposed order is not chaos. There's a deeper order, concealed within human society, which relies not upon coercion, but cooperation and trust. Built not by governments or politicians, but by people who realize at last their own true power.
There is no hierarchy.
But this won't happen on its own. It's up to us.
Don Quixote. T2 Trainspotting.
Go! Just fucking go!
And the BAFTA Scotland Award goes to...
Thank you very much, BAFTA. Very, very special, thank you. I'd like to thank, obviously, John and Irvin Welsh, whose character crew, my fellow producers, Bernie Bellew, Christian Coulson, and Danny Boyle. You can't make a film without lots of money. I'd like to help with the support of Creative Scotland, who in all their guises have supported. Is he coming? That's the boring.
Well, it's me, Ewan Bremner again.
Probably my best friend.
All right.
I've said my stuff.
All right. I wasn't expecting to come back up. We would like to thank, who have you thanked already? All the important people. I'd like to thank all the same people. And Irvin Welsh.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that makes me feel very happy about making this film 20 years later is what a success it is in Scotland. And the film made, I think, 17, 18 million pounds at the UK box office, of which 30% was in Scotland, which is against the norm in the business of 8 to 10%. And I think that just shows that if you tell a Scottish story, the people really like it here, and I think we could do with many, many more. Thank you.
Three next then, eh? Maybe. Right, finally tonight we come to the highest award in the gift of BAFTA Scotland, recognising an outstanding contribution to film and television. To salute the recipient of this year's award, we have a man who could be described as the Spin Doctor's Spin Doctor, though for a little while yet, he's also the Spin Doctor's Doctor Who. It's Peter Capaldi.
Starving. Everybody's starving here. Try and be fast here. The BAFTA Scotland Award for Outstanding Contribution to Film and Television 2017. I've been asked to say a few words tonight because the recipient of this award is my colleague, and I like to think also a dear friend of mine. He is Mr. Armando Iannucci. Isn't it? The comedy of the last 30 years has been illuminated not just by his work, but by his influence. He gave us The Day Today, he gave us Alan Partridge, he gave us The Thick of It. And in doing so, he created catchphrases, sayings, words that have actually entered the language. Omnishambles, marzipan dildo, come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off. Only William Shakespeare has done a similar thing. And the Bard of Avon would be very proud if he'd come up with a line as poetic as, "Who shat in my porridge?" Yes, the name Arandi Iannucci has become synonymous with comedy. His Oscar-nominated film, In the Loop, showed his continual growth as an artist, with its mature themes of politics, war, and swearing. He's enjoyed great success in America, where many people can pronounce his name, with Veep about to enter its 7th season. And his artistic development continues with his latest amazing film, The Death of Stalin, a work so individual it could only be an Amanda Iannucci film. But Armando came from very humble beginnings. He started his working life with his dad, Armando Sr. in his pizza business. And he's never forgotten the lessons he's learned there. To this day, if the BBC orders 2 scripts from him, they can also get 1 potato wedges and a small drink. But Armando has made his own way in the world, inspired by his own heroes, the Enlightenment poet John Milton and wee Jimmy Johnson. A trial for Partick Thistle led to early success in the football field. No, that's different. It's different, Amanda. Comedy called. He sent some gags to STV, and he was very soon writing skits for Glenn Michael. And in a legendary brainstorming session, came up with the character Paladin. And it was Glenn Michael who arranged an introduction to a fledgling young comedy duo called the Crankies, for whom Armando wrote the first draft of their catchphrase, "Fantabby fucking dossy." Let's take a look at some of Armando's work.
Outstanding contribution to film and television.
And Scottish Heaven consists of a bald man who tells me what a great country Scotland is because it invented golf, it discovered penicillin, and it has the songs of Runrig. And outside, everyone was watching some newly recorded Blackadder and guilt-free porn. So I just lost it.
Mike, talk to me. I am in a room with 3 people and a fuckload of quiche.
Alan, sport. Thanks, Chris. Well, as I said, it really was...
Shut it, Alan. I want you to stop.
The first day I met Armando Iannucci, everything changed. It was like a portal to a new dimension of comedy. In a way, I think of Armando as a kind of comedy Time Lord, or a Doctor Who, if you will, who of course was played by Peter Capaldi, who also played Malcolm Tucker, who's also an Italian Scot. It's interesting the way things interconnect, isn't it? But if there's a hallmark to Armando's comedy, it's that he makes you laugh a lot and think a little. Sometimes he makes you think a lot and laugh a little.
It feels like my brain has been fucking emptied into little packets, into fucking crisp packets. Cheese and onion fucking crisp packets that contain my living, breathing fucking brain.
He's taught me so many things over the years, but the 3 things that always stand out for me are, first of all, just because somebody says this is how we've always done it, is no reason to do it that way. Secondly, contrary to popular practice, there is absolutely no reason for arseholes on a film set. And third, no matter how important something is, you don't have to miss pudding for it.
No, right, that's enough of all the fucking Oxbridge pleasantries.
What's Oxbridge about saying hello?
Shut it! Love Actually! You want me to hole punch your face?
God decided when he created Armando just to give him a load of comedy nous. Too much comedy nous. So the comedy part of his brain, if you looked at an MRI, is just too big. And that's to the benefit of all the rest of us.
Has he given you another series?
No, he won't give me one.
Give him another series, you swine.
Yeah, give me another series, you shit.
Creation of Alan Partridge was genius because it made you see the world in a completely different way. I mean, I don't know how anybody can be a presenter on a small county radio station anymore.
It's 4:35 a.m. You're listening to Up with the Partridge. We were told by the department and the powers that be and the sort of the crews that shoot sitcoms that this is how you shoot a sitcom. It's 3 sets, flat, that open to the audience. You light it from above and you light it brightly. And he said, I don't want it lit brightly. I want it lit like a drama. I want the set all enclosed. I don't want the audience to see Alan except on the monitors, which seemed totally counterintuitive. Do you know what it says on the side of my car?
Tosser?
You're in the right ballpark. It actually says cock, piss, partridge.
The highlight for me has to be playing Nicola Murray in the thick of it, which was a really lovely, close collaboration with Armando and the writing team.
It's because I'm the girl at the party nobody wants to dance with. I'm the freak in the corner with a pint of cider and blackcurrant and the funny eye.
No, I mean, you know, it's a big Rolodex full of numbers, I'm sure.
Thank you. You may go.
We still would like to dance with you.
Oh, fuck off. Don't put your glasses back on.
Armando wrote me a letter saying, would I like to play Molotov in The Death of Stalin? You know, there were so many great things in that letter. One that was from Armando.
Stalin is dead!
You have to wait for it to fill up.
He finds what he thinks is absurd and ridiculous about the world in which we live.
Being on set for the first time when I went and did Veep, and we were standing, he and I, behind the monitors. Everyone else had gone to lunch. We were behind the monitors in the Eisenhower. What about, oh no, that won't work. Or, oh yeah, this, oh no, that won't work. And after a while, I got so frustrated, I just threw the script down and went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Just died. Be here now. It's hard to say he's a perfect director because that's saying others aren't, but I mean, he's pretty close to me to the perfect director.
How old are you? You're made mostly of hair!
How would I sum up Armando in a couple of words?
Don't ever call me fucking English again.
There's a sort of essential truth to what he does. You know, he's only really interested in characters who you can believe in. And I think that's one of the things that makes Armando really unique.
He trusts himself enough to choose the right people to work with, and therefore he trusts the people he chooses to work with. And you feel like you can fly.
Have you been at number 10 lately? Jesus, it's like the breakup of the Beatles, right? During the fall of the Roman Empire, while fucking Jordan's getting divorced from that bloke. All happening at the same time in a tiny fucking terraced house, yeah?
I couldn't be more pleased or proud to call you my friend and my mentor.
Thank you for being such a funny man, creating all the funny, being funny to be around, and for not changing. You're still Jenny on the block, which I love about you.
All the work you've done have really been some of the best programmes I have ever seen. So when you asked me to go and play Molotov in the film for you, it was a highlight of my acting career. At last, after so many chiropodists and vicars, a mass killer, something I could identify with.
Thank you, Armando, for changing my life. I love you professionally. Personally, I don't really know the guy. I mean, we never see each other. But there'll always be a little bit of you in my heart and a lot of you in my head.
Congratulations yet again. You are, I'm afraid to say, exceptional.
I want to say there are many outstanding things about Armando, but the most outstanding thing is about the amount of performers he has encouraged, so many writers and directors. I know for a fact that throughout his career he has shown great generosity and kindness to others, which is in itself deserving of this award. It's my great pleasure to present it to him. Armando Iannucci.
Wow. Thank you so much to those lovely words from my dear, dear friend, Peter Capaldi. Thank you. Have I died? Is that, I kind of feel I'm dressed for my own funeral here. I'm not that old. Or am I getting it now because you're worried some dreadful story about me is about to break? Is that? Yeah, I'm shorter than you probably expected. That's the only secret I've been trying to hide from the world. This must not get out. Thank you. I mean, geez. Michael Palin, my all-time comedy hero. There, I'm kind of overwhelmed. I'd like to thank BAFTA. I mean, BAFTA stands for the British Academy Film and Television Arts. But I want to start by thanking radio, really. But it's Radio Scotland. To this day, I still am so grateful and so thankful for the chance and the experience that Radio Scotland gave me. I learned so much at the time there. And everything I learned, I've tried to apply to the next 30 years. From Radio Scotland, I moved to, I became a radio producer, first of all, in London, and I treasure still the first letter of complaint I got after an episode of the News Quiz, which ended with the words, "and Iannucci." What kind of a name is that for someone who works for the so-called British Broadcasting Corporation? Well, it's a mark of some pride and satisfaction that in the intervening 30 years almost since that letter was written, that the person who wrote it is probably dead. Better times we're in now. At St. Peter reminds me of, obviously, times in the thick of it. I still treasure an email from the BBC that says, if you lose 2 fucks a minute, we'll give you 1 cunt. Which I don't know who that cunt was, but we got one. And it just introduced the whole idea in my head of a sweary exchange rate, which would certainly make the business news better. There's that, and there's the one letter from the lawyer. In all our time doing the thick of it, there was only one line that we were asked to take out, and that was the line that said, it's when Malcolm says, that's inevitable. That's as inevitable as what they'll find in Jimmy Savile's basement after he's died. We had to lose that. There's compliance for you. It's an interesting fact. Interesting fact, if you actually got all the people who work in compliance to lay end to end, it would actually give you 3 hours of very pleasurable driving. To be serious though, this is a very special moment, a very special award. I'm so pleased to be here, and it's, it is a source of some pride that my 2 films, In the Loop and The Death of Stalin, had their first public premieres at the Glasgow Film Theatre just down the road, my old place. You showed earlier the sketch about That's Except for Viewers in Scotland, which I think is based on a fear that we all had growing up, that the programmes we were watching were sort of made in Scotland for Scotland and only just about Scotland and only just for Scotland. And I think at the time we all felt we can be more outward. We could be making stuff that can extol and share in the pride of Scotland, but for the world. And I remember my 2 comedy heroes at the time were Billy Connolly and Bill Forsyth, who introduced me to a rather pudgy Peter Capaldi area. And they were truly Scottish. They celebrated the Scottishness, but they declared it internationally. And I think that's what we're doing now. And I see these times as exciting times because the whole world, literally, because we can stream online and we can access anything from anywhere in the world, the whole world now is a potential audience. And I find that exciting. So I find it comforting that we no longer hide our talent under a thistle, but proudly alongside it. And finally, I'm trying to think of some of the programmes that were in Scottish Heaven. It was something like a failed Dougie Donnelly chat show and a 6-part cartoon series about Gaelic accidents. All gone now. I find it a personal note. I'm going to take this along tomorrow morning to Clarkston to give this to my mum, who my father. We lost our father when I was 17, so he didn't see all this happen. So it was just my mum. And really, the last 30 years have been sort of me trying to persuade my mum that a career in comedy is actually one worth doing. And I remember when I started hearing her on the phone to someone say, well, yeah, he's doing comedy, but I think he'll be doing Panorama quite soon. And only because Doug mentioned his Emmy, fast forward about 25 years to me getting news that In the Loop had been nominated for an Oscar. And I did that thing which you all dream of doing. I rang my mum and I said, Mum, I've been nominated for an Oscar. And she said, can you ring me later? There's a man in fixing the boiler. So she's 91, still going strong in Clarkston. I'm going to take this to her tomorrow. But thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. So great. Well, that was BAFTA Scotland Awards 2017. Congratulations to all those who'll be heading home clutching something for the mantelpiece. Maybe some of you will be clutching something you didn't want to be by the end of the night. Other nominees, hopefully see you here next year. Thank you to all our presenters. Just a second, people. Just a second. Thank you. Thank you to all our presenters, to our partners. We've got to mention BA as well. Thank you very much indeed for your support. And to all of you guys for attending. And to you at home watching, wherever you have been watching as well. We've been live. I bet they loved that last bit as well. There was more swearing and Armando's than anybody else the whole night, which is how it should be. Thank you for supporting excellence in the art forms of the moving image. I have been and always will be Edith Bowman. Thank you very much indeed for your support tonight, and thank you for being here. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you very much.